All right, we're gonna just jump right into the story. All right, this story takes place in Okinawa, Japan. I was in the Marine Corps for 4 years, from 2006 to 2010. Say maybe 2.5 years into my enlistment. I think I was like a lance corporal, maybe even a corporal at that time. Me and some of my buddies, we wanted to visit a hotel. There's this haunted hotel. Okinawa is a pretty small place. This hotel was actually probably on the other side of the island from where the base was. I remember it being like maybe a 30-minute taxi ride or a honcho ride. That's what we used to call them, honchos. And it was me, this guy named Peacock, and Lance Corporal Soares. So we had Soares, Peacock, and myself. We ended up going to this hotel. The hotel is terrifying. Like the story behind this hotel, I can't remember exactly what the name of the hotel was offhand, but I'll go ahead and put it right here for you guys, right here. We heard stories about people like killing themselves, like jumping off the roof, getting possessed by demons. Supposedly all the contractors, well, not all of them, but a lot of them ended up committing suicide. The construction of the hotel was abandoned. We ended up getting dropped off maybe a quarter mile, maybe a half a mile from the hotel. At this point, there was no street lights. It was scary as hell. And the honcho driver didn't really want to drive there because he was scared too. So yeah, he wouldn't drop us off anywhere close to this hotel. We ended up having to walk, and on the way there, pitch black, no street lights. We came with flashlights. We were a little prepared. We had glow sticks, chem lights with us. We had, a little bit of snacks. We were planning on staying there all night. So we had a couple bags packed, just the stuff that we would need throughout the night. And we had the flashlights going on the way over there. Once we got dropped off, and we seen nothing but like headstones. There was headstones like all over the side of the road. Once we finally showed up to the hotel, it's actually on this mountain, like this hill. And at the bottom of this hill leading up to the hotel, once we finally did get there, we noticed there was like I guess like an office building. It was weird, out of nowhere. There was a light on, there was a little white van type of deal parked out front. So we actually had to sneak around this small trailer just to climb up the face of this hill. Damn, something's going on over there. I'm not even trying to ride past these people. They're looking way too turnt. All right, I'm gonna go this way. I ain't got no gun on me. I'm just out here riding. I think it's like maybe like 9:30 right now. Anyway, we ended up going around this building. We found out later on the drive home when we got the next taxi, which also didn't meet us right there either. We had to pretty much walk down the street, but I'll explain that part later. We didn't actually walk, we ended up running. The story actually does get very interesting towards the end if you guys want to stick around. It does get a little spooky. But yeah, when we talked to the taxi driver on the way home, he actually informed us at that point that the building that we seen in the van belonged to a monk. And the monk was put there to kind of keep all the spirits at bay and to keep all the evil, I guess, kind of in that area so it didn't spread out into the surrounding village. It actually, at that point, made everything a lot more spooky. And if I would have known that that guy was there for that reason, I probably wouldn't have even tried to go to the hotel in the first place. But anyway, we ended up sneaking around this guy and we were there. We were at the side of this hotel. I remember it being like a wall. The point that we made entry at was pretty much where we popped up at the hotel. It was just a wall like right on the side of the hill. We actually had to climb through a window, and from that point, the night only got crazier. If you guys want to stick around for the rest of the story or go ahead and fast forward to it, you can. I'm gonna go ahead and park my bike right here. We finally made it to the grocery store. I'm gonna go inside and get this chicken. Yeah, this is probably the closest grocery store to my apartment, so I actually come here a lot. Probably go ahead and grab me a little IPA-age. I can't even tell if it's cold or not because I got these gloves on. All right, y'all, so where were we? All right, so we had just gotten to this window. It was me, Peacock, Soares. We all three got through the window. We're walking around this hotel, halfway built, abandoned, just gnarly looking, spray paint everywhere, walls falling down, straight dilapidated motel, right? We're in here, and I guess Peacock brought up the fact that the higher you go, the more safe it is, because I guess the higher you are towards the heavens was his like theory, or what he had heard from somebody about the hotel. And at the same time, we also heard that some people, once they got to the top, little platform that was on the top, I guess people were killing themselves, getting possessed and jumping off the top platform. So I was like, I didn't know what to think. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know where the safest spot was. We were headed towards the top. That was our plan. We wanted to go towards the top platform, and that's where we were going to pretty much stay the night. I remember Suarez had brought a little laptop with him. We were going to just chill out, eat snacks, and, you know, see what the whole thing was all about. But the whole time we were headed towards the top, we were hearing a bunch of noises, man. Like some crazy, crazy noises. Like, I didn't really know how to describe it at the time, but now, come to think about it, this many years later, it sounded like a bunch of frogs were there, basically, like a bunch of bullfrogs. In other words, it was absolutely terrifying. So we're going through this hotel. We finally made it to the top. This whole time that we were walking, we were throwing down chem lights, kind of just to make sure that we knew our way back to the window that we got out of. Because it's a big place. It's not that small of a hotel. The thing's at least 500,000 square feet. It was ridiculous. Maybe 4 or 5 different floors. We finally made it to the top, and we started hearing these intense frog sounds from the top. And it was literally enough to the point where we had just got there maybe a couple hours ago. We were already ready to leave. We maybe spent, no, it was less than a couple hours. It was probably around maybe 45 minutes or so. We were all ready to go home. So we started going towards the exit, trying to follow the chemtrails back, and Peacock was motioning us to go faster, go faster, go faster. So we go faster, kind of like almost like a jog. By the time we got to, I think maybe like floor 2, because we had already got up to the top platform at one point. That's where we heard all the noise. By the time we got back down to like floor 2, he stopped us and was like, "Hey guys, I made you guys run kind of and hurry up, because I seen somebody. I seen like a shadow or a vision in one of the rooms." Because you got to understand, this hotel was like halfway built. So there was really no doors even on the rooms. Everything was just kind of all open. And he said that he seen like a figure in one of the rooms, and he didn't want to scare us, so he was telling us to like kind of book it out of there a little bit. This naturally terrified me, on top of the fact that we were still hearing those like frog sounds everywhere. At that point, all 3 of us wanted nothing more than to get the fuck out of this hotel, find the window, which we eventually found. We shimmied down the hill. I actually think I had like a pair of $250 Ray-Bans that I had just bought, and I ended up losing them that night going down the hill. Not up the hill, it was down the hill, because I remember I had them when I was in the hotel. And anyway, we get down the hill, we get back to the Monk station, we end up going around the station, getting back to the road, and the next thing you know, Peacock out of nowhere, he's like, "Run, run, run," okay? All right, we look behind us. Obviously, Soares and me wanted to see what the fuck he was telling us to run from. And there was this glowing-ish type of figure in the middle of the road. Remember, there's no streetlights, but you could still see it, okay? And this thing was headed towards us. Anyway, this thing's blinking. Like every 3 or 4 seconds, it would show up, blink, show up again, like maybe, it wasn't walking. It would like blink out, and then when it blinked back on, it would be like literally 20 meters in front of where it was before, coming towards us. It was the most horrifying thing ever, because it was not running. It was not running, it was not floating. It would be there, it would blink off, and then when it came back on, it would be closer. Because mind you, when I first seen him, he was maybe about 100 yards back, which is about 300 feet away from me. It was really far away. It was a decent distance. You could barely see it. And then by the time I started running, he was probably about 200 yards from us. So that thing was moving. However it was moving, it was definitely moving, and it was definitely coming towards us. So we started running. We probably ran for about a half an hour. Like it seemed like that. We probably ran for about 10 minutes or so. We ran back to the point to where the first taxi dropped us off at. And at that point, we knew we could call another honcho and they'd be able to pick us up from that spot.